A crucial waterway in the Okoboji chain of lakes is in need of restoration. What was once a thriving hub for fishing and recreation is barely usable today. KTIV's Ellen Ide reports on the growing efforts to save Turtle Lake.
If we don't do the dredging work, the lake will fill in and it will be unusable for everyone.
On this brisk December day, folks on the Iowa Great Lakes are beginning to think about winter sports and ice fishing. But members of the Save Turtle Lake Committee are more concerned about what's sitting below the ice, several feet of sediment.
When it was originally dredged back in 1910, they left 2 islands out there, and those 2 islands have melted into the system.
Additionally, over 100 years of shoreline runoff, leaves, and sticks have really added up. What was once an 8-foot lake now sits at a depth of just 3 feet. Over time, sediment buildup has impacted the flow of fresh water into West Lake Okoboji. This has made navigation difficult and has impacted the habitat for local marine life.
This whole north shoreline that we're standing on now has a plan in place to put all riprap along there and plant native vegetation to keep the soil in place.
Lakeshore property owners are doing what they can to preserve the shoreline, but the entirety of Turtle Lake will need to be re-dredged to make the waterway usable for both people and wildlife. The project comes with a hefty price tag, totaling $750,000. The committee has raised nearly $400,000 and is looking for help to meet their goal.
You can pledge a little, we call those ripples, or you can pledge a lot, we call those waves. Make a ripple or a wave, doesn't matter. More is better, of course.
The Save Turtle Lake Committee hopes to reach its fundraising goal by the end of December so it can secure contractors and dredging equipment to begin work next fall. In Okoboji, Iowa, Ellen Ide, KTIV News 4.
The Save Turtle Lake Committee has partnered with the Okoboji Foundation to make contributions tax deductible. That tax deduction can be used in December of this year, 2024, or in January of 2025. If you'd like to learn more or contribute to the project, there's more information inside the story at KTIV.com.